And welcome to Mike Ferry TV. It is the week of May 21st, 2018. I tell you, time is flying by quickly. Do you realize that in 45 days, we will be halfway through 2018, well on the way to the second half? I hope that you're at least halfway to the goals you've set. Okay. On the West Coast tour that I do late April, May, and June each year, not only to do a strong 3-hour seminar for our 60 best real estate broker clients, but also to introduce people to our Superstar Retreat. This year, I'm talking about the incredible imbalance that is taking place in the industry. The imbalance meaning the number of agents that list property is way out of balance to the number of agents that work with buyers. 15, 20 years ago, it was about 50-50. Half the agents work buyers, half the agents work sellers. Today, you're hearing reports that range from it's 80-20 to 90-10, meaning 80 to 90% of the listings are being taken by a tiny percentage of the agents. What is causing this? I want you to listen carefully. The skill level of an agent who works with buyers is 100% different than the skill level of an agent who lists properties. It's not that one is better than the other, it's just totally different skills. So with that being said, I wrote down a thought. Buyers will generally buy a home they're seeing because of the house, where a seller will list their home with an agent because of what the agent says, which makes the whole process completely different, okay? A buyer walks into the house, they see the house, husband and wife, agent is there, they like the house, they love it, they want to buy it, transaction takes place. A seller will interview 2 or 3 or 4 good agents like yourself and decide based upon that conversation, what's being said, if they should choose that agent or not. Totally different sales processes. So I wrote down a question for all of us. What are the skills necessary to become a great listing agent? Now, you already know what they are, okay? I'm going to review them with you in a minute. But the question is, have you learned them to the degree you should, A, and B, are you going to use them to the degree you should? So basically, there are 6 skills that a listing agent has to have if they're going to be productive. 25, 50, 75 or more listings taken per year, which I believe you could take, no questions asked. I don't think there's any question that each of you could take 25 listings a year. A lot of you could take 50 or 75. However, the confidence that you need to make that happen comes from the level of skills that you've developed within yourself. Or as you've heard me say in the past, if you break your arm, don't go to a dentist. They're both doctors. They have different skills, okay? If you need heart surgery, don't go to a foot doctor. It's different skills, both doctors. If you're licensed to fly a Cessna 172 4-person single-engine prop plane, I don't want you flying a jet with commercial people aboard or commercial passengers on that plane. Both are pilots. So the skill set is different. So let's look at the 6 skills that I believe every great listing agent we work with, and we work with hundreds and hundreds. In fact, I did a little survey about a month ago. I said to 10 of our 90 coaches, I asked them a simple question. How many agents that we're coaching, or you're coaching for us, are going to do more than 100 listings taken this year? You know, I thought 100 listings is a lot, and there might be 10 or 12 or 15. 10 out of 90 coaches. The list is 117 names on it. These are not teams. These are individual agents like you that are going to list more than 100 homes. So don't tell me it can't be done. Tell me you're not willing to learn the skills to make it happen. Can you imagine the payoff in today's society? If you're listing 25, 50, 75 homes a year, you could write a check the bank would bounce. Kind of an exciting thought, isn't it? Here's the 6 skills. First, managing your time. Everything starts with time management. I wrote down a thought. Buyers control the agent's time. Sellers do not. All right, picture this. You have a fully qualified, highly motivated buyer. They meet you Saturday morning at 10 o'clock. You show property throughout the course of the day. They don't buy. Sunday, they come back at noon. You work with them until 5. They don't buy. Tuesday afternoon, they come in at 10 o'clock. At 4 o'clock, you write a contract. You've now spent almost 3 full days. Let's say realistically 15 to 20 hours invested in this potential buyer. You need to make a sale. All right, the buyer controls your time. All right, now let's take the other side. When is the last time you made a 15-hour listing presentation to one seller? That's right, it never happens. All right, if you want to manage your time at the highest level, you work with sellers. If you want to have your time managed at the highest level, you work with buyers. The second, of course, now I'm going to say something to you. For 30 years of my 43-year career doing this work, I've been criticized, condemned, complained about, banned. I've been pushed around, beat up, kicked, and you can see how much it affects me all the time because I talk about prospecting too much. Now let's be honest. You want listings, correct? Are the sellers calling you? I didn't think so. Are there sellers lining up in front of your office? I didn't think so. You got to go find them. Well, finally, about 7, 8 years ago, I said enough about prospecting. I'm not going to bring up that word again. Let's instead be involved in lead generation. Oh, it has such a much better sound to it, lead generation. And then about a year ago, I said enough with the lead generation. Let's get you involved in conversations each day with people about buying and selling real estate. Just conversations. You can do this. Can you talk to people about real estate without being embarrassed? I bet you can. So I'm going to ask you to think about this. Write down this question. How are you and where do you live? And just walk around the office and ask 5, 10 people in the office, how are you? They're going to start a conversation. They'll say, well, I'm fine. How are you? You say, fine. Then you say, where do you live? Well, I live in this area, this neighborhood. Great. A simple conversation that leads to more conversation, which leads to generating a lead, which leads to pre-qualifying a potential seller, which leads to a listing presentation, a contract signed. So at some point, we've got to get through this nonsense that I can't talk to people. Third step or third skill is, of course, strong lead follow-up. Okay, this is a big paycheck made out to you, $10,000, or it's a lead card that you have in your hand of somebody that said, I'm thinking about selling, and you never followed up on them. Now think about that. Somebody gives you a name and number and says, yeah, we're thinking about selling our home, and you never called them back? Hello, what is wrong here? Why would you not call them back? And the answer is always the same. I got too busy. I wasn't really sure if they had to sell. Well, call and ask for an appointment. Hi, Mrs. Smith, it's Mike. We met last week. You mentioned you wanted to talk about selling your home. What time Wednesday at 4 o'clock should we get together? She goes, well, I don't know, maybe Wednesday at 4. Good idea, okay? How often do sellers get mad at you that are leads because you're too aggressive? They list with agents that are aggressive. When you have a lead, you have an obligation to follow up. The fourth skill is strong pre-qualifying. Here's what I wrote down. Listing agents don't waste their time talking to non-motivated sellers, and buyers agents' time is wasted by buyers that can't make a decision. It all comes down to pre-qualifying. Are you willing to pre-qualify 100%? I had a coaching call a couple days ago with a great young man, and he's taken 25, 27 listings this year so far. And I said, okay, you've had 10 or 12 that you didn't get. He goes, right. Why didn't you get them? I didn't ask all the pre-qualifying questions. I kind of let him off the hook. Well, here we are in May, and he's taken 25 good listings. That is a great agent. But he's missed 10, 12, 13 just from leaving a couple of questions out of the pre-qualifying process. A doctor never leaves a step out of the process, because if they do, the patient dies. And then, of course, the fifth skill is strong presentation skills, okay? I don't know if you're planning on attending the retreat in July. I hope you are, because on days 1 and 2 of the 4-day retreat, I'm going to give you as strict a plan as I can ever give on what to do to list 25, 50, 75, 100 homes a year. 2 days, I'm going to cover that. But then Thursday and Friday, I'm going to work for 2 days on how to become a strong presenter. Why? Because people buy signed contracts because of your presentation skills. So I need to help you become a stronger presenter. And I know I can help you become a stronger presenter, but you have to want to become a strong presenter. So what does it mean to be a strong presenter? Well, let's put it this way, and you've heard me say this before. When you finish your listing presentation, does the seller jump up and give you a standing ovation? Probably not. All right? But if you go to a great concert, go to a great play, you jump up and give people a standing ovation when they finish. Why do we not get them? Because they're better at the performance. The skill is a performance. The skill of presenting is a performance you have to master. I would like to show you how to become a great presenter. And then skill number 6 is handling objections. A couple of weeks ago at a seminar, I asked, has anybody been in the room more than 25 years in real estate? 3 or 4 hands went up. I asked them to stand up. I said, I'm going to give you some objections. Tell me if they're new or old. Now, these are 4 25-year veterans. I said, I want to think it over. New or old? Old. Friend of the business, new or old? Old. I want more money than you're telling me. New or old? Old. I want you to cut the commission. New or old? Old. Folks, the objections are older than dirt. Why not learn the answers? So think about this. Really, none of these skills, with the outside of maybe time management, are really that critically important to show property to a buyer. And I'm not diminishing the importance of you showing property to a buyer. I'm just telling you there's way more money, way more recognition, way more security for you in listing property than working with buyers. And once you make that transformation and you flip to the other side, your life is going to be immensely better. Let us help you do it. Watch this video every day this week and make that happen. Talk to you next week. Thanks for today.